Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin morning update. If you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we will go straight over to those Bitcoin charts. So yeah, as you can see, a bit of sideways since yesterday's typical Bitcoin action. A pump up and then slam back down again and then back to where we began. But yeah, a bit of sideways here. As you can see, we are still well within this potential ascending triangle. I mean, I call it a potential ascending triangle. I think it is an ascending triangle. It's just a case of, do we break out to the top side, or do we break out? Do we lose this trend line, break out to the bottom side? Obviously, the statistical probabilities are in the favor of the upside, but obviously that doesn't mean that it can't break to the downside. So again, like I usually say, we'll just get our cues from the stock market and the dollar, and that will probably give us a good inclination as to whether we're going to break out to the upside or the downside. But yeah, nice consolidation here, which is obviously good to see. Yeah, awaiting the move today. Are we going to get some action? Or is Bitcoin actually just taking a breather? Like, you can see this big move we had up here, and then you can see how long we went for without basically doing anything, pretty much, as you can see. Are we going to get a period of like that now? It is likely. We don't have to actually break to the upside or the downside of this triangle. We can literally just trade sideways. Well, I guess that is technically breaking the downside as the downside comes up. But yeah, I mean, you guys do know my views about sideways, but obviously sideways is in this larger range over a longer time period. Doesn't mean we've got to stay here. We can easily break into this nice 16k range, trade round here, or we can just break back down towards 14k, trade in here. I think it's all good. It's all healthy. It's all constructive for Bitcoin. Don't forget, there will be people that like to sell Bitcoin, that are lots of people in profit. Most wallets are in profit. In fact, almost all wallets are in profit. So you've got to expect there'll be some people taking profits at various points in this move. So yeah, expect volatility. And yeah, I mean, that's basically the name of the game. That's why now we're getting to sort of uncharted territory. That's why we obviously can have a larger, wider range with some vicious price action. So let's have a look at stocks. How are they looking today? So as you can see, the big move up got sold into, which is fair enough. Did look a little bit of atypical by the rumor than actually sell the fact, especially when we did get that big last push up. But the main thing for me, I think, is getting back above this level. And then obviously in the S&P getting back above this level also. We'll just extend this along. Just getting back above these levels, and then yeah, I think we are just basically just in for some onwards and upwards. Let's just have a look at the daily. Just want to see, yeah, this level, obviously we're well above that previous high. So I mean, you can just see the actual phenomenal price action in this asset during a global pandemic and an economic shutdown. But hey, that is a discussion for another day. We're just going to look at the chart and not gonna discuss that kind of stuff. Obviously that is a particularly bearish looking candle at resistance. Obviously it shows that price couldn't hold up there and got slammed back down, but the trigger then for downside and to actually for a larger move to the downside after this bearish candle would be taking out the low of that candle, which we haven't actually taken out the low of that candle. We did actually dip right down basically to practically exactly the low. Obviously this is where the candle opened, dipped back down and came back up again. So we did attempt to take out this low, but we were swiftly rejected. Yeah, so I mean, like I said, this is the bearish candle, but unless we take out the low, it's not it doesn't signal a sell signal. But yeah, so yeah, realistically holding above this level, making it back above this level, and it's just very, very bullish, very constructive. You could definitely expect selling to coming up here. Now those guys are sold. Now those standing sell orders have been filled. There is no longer that sell resistance up there. So yeah, we could more easily slice through this level if that is the path that we decide to take. Dollar index as well. We'll go over to the 4-hour. Dollar index, as you can see, dollar index had its bounce as expected off this low. And we are, as you can see, this trend line pretty efficacious, holding price below it. It does not mean that we can't obviously eventually break through this and see some more upside. I mean, if we do, a realistic target would probably be around this level, around, well, the low 93s. And yeah, then look for a potential rejection there. But if you kind of look at the price action on this trend line, get up to it, just downwards, get back up to it, downwards. Obviously, we broke up this time, but then obviously smashed back below it, and we're up it again. So we have, for the most part, been rejected by this trend line. So is the trend of rejection your friend? We shall see. But you guys know my view that I do think this is a sell. This is a sell, basically. I've got a sell recommendation out on the DXY. I used to when I used to read like various financial publications, like back in the day, like 10, 12 years ago, you'd see them like have their recommendations, their analyst recommendations, and they'll be like sell, buy, or they'll call it overweight or underweight. Didn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, so sell would be called underweight. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, I've got an underweight on this. So you want to be underweight this in your portfolio, I believe. But then we all are if we're in crypto, because this is inversely correlated to crypto. But yeah, and to see a rejection here, I think realistically, come back below this level, then we will be seeing this level lost. And I mean, again, like potentially a little bit of a bounce here. It'll try and put up a fight, maybe then come and test the trend line again. And then potentially curtains, big arrow, look, down to 20k plus BTC will actually make this thicker. Just why not? So yeah, that's what we're looking at in the dollar. Let's have a look at silver and gold, because they got hit particularly hard yesterday. So yeah, at that horizontal level, you can see silver can pick itself up from here. We'll be looking constructive again. And then gold obviously got slammed a bit harder. But I mean, you can see we're in a box here. We're in a horizontal. We'll just extend this along. These are sort of, you would notice that I have a lot more horizontals, a lot more range, a lot more basically ranges sideways that I like to look for. And this is clearly an example of one of those, because I just think they are basically a more efficacious way of analyzing where you think price action will go, the actual sideways ranges, rather than actual necessarily trend lines. I mean, trend lines are useful. They do have their place, and they are clearly useful. But I just prefer these and use these more often. But yeah, I mean, when we get into pennants, we've obviously got trend lines. When we get into ascending, descending triangles, we've obviously got trend lines. But I mean, you guys will notice for the most part, I have a lot more horizontals on than trend lines. And yeah, as you can see, we're trading within this box. I mean, if we had extended this low across here, we would have seen this was a nice bounce point. Obviously, I didn't have it extended at the time, but yeah, it would have been a good place to, if you were short, to take profits. If you wanted to long, get long, and then it's a case of, do we see continuation back up to the top, or does that buy and get sold into, and we eventually break it? But obviously, in an initial pass, it was quite expected to see a bounce there. So yeah, let's go back to Bitcoin and see how stochastics are doing. 4 hour still coming down, so this is actually not too bad now, because this is looking like a bullish reset of the 4 hour Stokes, and when this eventually does turn back up, potentially expect more upward price action. 10 hour looking to turn down again. 12 hour can't make its mind up. Daily coming back out of this zone here, back into here, which could possibly signal actually a prolonged move down, or at least sideways. 2 day turning down as well, and 3 day is still up there, and obviously everything above is still up there. But it's kind of, yeah, I mean, I'll just say again, you guys know my views. I feel like we're just gonna trade sideways in this range. And I mean, just looking at that, it kind of tells me that just looking at Bitcoin, it kind of tells me we aren't going to break to the upside, and we are going to potentially come and trade back down to around the 14k region, or even if we just get picked up at either of these sort of horizontals, even if we don't make it all the way down here. But I feel that is where the liquidity is. That is where the the market manipulators, if you want to call them that, the people that are looking to pick up some Bitcoin, the play is to get us down here, really. Not to break us up there, and stochastics look like they may be on their side. So then all they need then is the dollar to have break that trend line and go up to be on their side, and stock markets to come back down to be on their side, and then I think they will be able to manage it. But it's not guaranteed. Stock markets can definitely just keep going onwards and upwards now, and the dollar can definitely get whacked, as you guys know is my view. So yeah, that is it, guys. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I'll speak to you guys later on today.